Thanks, Will. I should probably bring you on the road with me. You can announce me when I come into the games. Now, when John asked me to speak tonight, first, of course, I was a bit nervous, but then excited to tell you everybody about my experience with the Dogs and how they've affected my life. I was fortunate to be part of the original Dogs. Back when 14 years ago, a group of fathers who had their kids in Little League decided to create a team that would take baseball to the next level. A team that would travel all across Canada and the United States to find the best competition possible. From countless trips to BC's Okanagan, Florida, Vegas, California, we were a committed team that put baseball first. We were also a new team, and as far as parents, coaches, and players go, we had to learn along the way. Not affiliated with any team in any baseball program in Calgary, we had to find our own practice facilities. Now I remember our first field behind Old ACO Center, next to the Army Barracks in Calgary. We had about 100 gopher holes in the outfield, where you could probably lose a baseball down, let alone an ankle. And the infield was even worse, with rocks the size of golf balls, unlike beautiful Siemens Stadium and Duvernay Fieldhouse. We never took ground balls or fly balls there. I think we just played catch and took batting practice. Things could only get better from there. Despite the travel and lack of facilities, we were good, and we won a lot. We entered tournaments against kids that were mostly older than us, so it was a shock. When you imagine, it was a shock when we lifted the first place trophy at most tournaments. With our success came recognition. As we grew older and went through high school, myself and John's son, Vince Candia, were the first Dogs to be selected to Team Alberta. That year, I was lucky enough to wear the colors of my country for the junior national team. The next year, 3 more Dogs were selected to Team Alberta. And throughout the 3 years of high school, we had 8 Dogs play for the junior national team. That's pretty good for a program that came from dodging gopher holes at practice fields. As the end of high school approached, we started looking towards colleges and universities. Although I had offers from schools from my time with the junior national team, it was a Dogs trip down to Arizona where I found my future college. Now this wouldn't be a Dogs event if this story wasn't told, so before John or anybody else tells this story, I'll just get out of the way. The Arizona tournament was a showcase tournament that invited colleges and universities along with professional scouts all across America. I was scheduled to pitch the first game of the second day against arguably the best team in the tournament. As I stepped on the mound, looked behind home plate, there were about 20 or 30 scouts staring right back at me. When I made my first move on the rubber, 20 or 30 radar guns came up like a firing squad. Now this would make any 16-year-old kid nervous, so whether it was my nerves or I just didn't have my stuff that day, things didn't go well. I only lasted half an inning being pulled from the game. But the end of the story doesn't stop there. So disappointed about my performance and obviously not thinking right, I decided to try dipping for the first time. I run over to a teammate on the bench, take a fingerful of Copenhagen and shove it in my bottom lip. I run back out in the field because now I had to play first base. Later in the game, I remember hitting a double, taking my lead off second base, and instead of spitting, I swallowed. I almost threw up right there. I came around the score, went back to the dugout, threw out the Copenhagen, and grabbed some Levi Garrett now, a different kind of chew. This is the stuff you put in your cheek. Still not thinking straight, obviously. After getting our butts kicked that game, thanks to me and my performance, we had a game right away. And I crawled over to the next field, laid behind the dugout with my stomach turning and my head spinning. And I won't get into detail. You guys all eat, so it wasn't good. All my teammates knew what was going on, but they didn't say a word. All the parents and the coaches came running to my aid. What's wrong with Jimmy? What's wrong with Jimmy? John's diagnosis must be the sun. Maybe even sunstroke. But I was too embarrassed to admit what I did, so I just went with it. Don Johnson, one of the parents of the kids, drove me to the hospital. It just keeps on getting better. At that point, I thought I was going to die, okay? It's not a big deal. But after a nice 3-hour nap in the emergency room, I woke up and I felt fantastic. I walked in and out of the doctor's office with no problems. And on the way back, we had a phone call to meet the team at Hooters, one of our most frequent dining spots on Dawgs trips. Now, nothing makes a 16-year-old kid feel better than some breasts and thighs. But I'm talking about the chicken, come on. So after all that mess of that weekend, somehow I was offered a scholarship to Midland Junior College, where I decided to attend. After 2 years at Midland, transferred to Tennessee Wesleyan for my 3rd year, I returned home to the Dawgs for their first collegiate season in Calgary. My time with the college team didn't last long, though, as I was selected by the Montreal Expos in the 26th round of the 2003 draft. Now, throughout my time in pro ball at stadiums where they have their programs and on my baseball cards, where it says school or colleges attended, although college was good to me, I wish it said the Calgary Dawgs, or the Okotoks Dawgs, or any part of the Dawgs organization. Because without them, I would not be where I'm at. After 4 years of the Expos Nationals organizations, I was selected by the Cubs in the first round of the Rule 5 draft. This turned out to be my breakout year. There were talks of me even being called up to Chicago in September. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and the next season, I blew up my shoulder in the first month. I missed the rest of that season, including the Olympics, and the next year, the '09 World Baseball Classic. Now, pro baseball is a cutthroat business, and after having shoulder surgery, the Cubs released me. I was out of a job. I called every coach and scout I knew in the game, but nobody was looking for a 26-year-old minor leaguer coming off major shoulder surgery. And that's when the Dawgs came to the rescue. Brandon Newell, who coached the Dawgs while I was in high school, and is here again tonight. Give us a wave again, Brandon. Threw my name in with the Milwaukee Brewers as he was a scout for them. Now, not many people get a second chance at life, and the Brewers signed me to a contract. I just finished pitching my first healthy, not my first, a full, healthy, successful season, which included a trip to the World Cup for Canada. We won our first medal ever. Bronze has never looked so good. The Dawgs have been my family for 14 years. Now they are part of the Okotoks Dawgs family. Every game at Siemens Stadium, you, the fans, are treated to the purest game of baseball. No millionaires fighting over their next contract. No individuals playing for themselves. And in my case, in minor league baseball, no teammates fighting and crawling to get to the next level by the guy beside them. These Dawgs players are playing together as a team, purely for the love of the game and for you, the fans. The community of Okotoks has a pivotal role in the success and the future of each player within the Dawgs organization. Through your dedication, encouragement, you are helping these kids realize their dream and giving them the support to pursue them. Personally, I would like to thank the Dawgs organization for helping me reach my dream of becoming a professional baseball player, and their continual support as I strive for my ultimate goal in becoming a big leaguer. Thank you, and good luck to the Dawgs in 2010.
Jimmy will be leaving Okotoks very, very soon. He's on his way to spring training in Arizona, and we'll all be watching very closely, and we look forward to seeing him in one of those beautiful Brewer uniforms. Jimmy, all the best as you go, and thanks for being part of a great night.